Hello everyone. I'd like to thank you for subscribing. I'd like to thank my subscribers, my old subscribers, my new subscribers. And I just wanted to let you know I am installing a transmission tunnel to fit my Tremec 6-speed transmission. I bought the transmission from American Powertrain, if you're wondering. It came with the kit, everything's included, very nice people to deal with. I purchased the QuickTime bell housing through them. That was a separate option, in case you're wondering. This is a donor LS motor, and I just have it bolted up so it could mate to the transmission and bell housing so I could get my adjustment so when I cut the tunnel, it fits properly. Okay, so I'm going to bring you down here and show you exactly how I'm going to do it. If you have any questions or comments, please let me know, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. So let's get this video started. Okay, I'm going to give you a close-up on the bell housing right there and the transmission. So everything is just sitting on blocks right now. So I just wanted to show you. I could move my motor up right here. You see there's an adjustment. That's why I got these motor mounts. They're really nice. I could move them up probably an inch to an inch and a quarter more than I have to pull the motor forward. Okay, so that gives me an adjustability, which is really nice. If you have any questions on that, I will give you the part number and you could purchase them if you're doing the same swap. Okay, so I'm going to take you inside and show you exactly what I need to do. We are in the inside of the GTO right now, and I wanted to show you what I've done. I cut this open because I know that I had to cut it from prior installations of this particular transmission. So what I did is I ran a slit in the tunnel this way. You can't really see it because of the lighting, and then from here all the way down. And I stopped here because I wasn't sure exactly how far I need to go. But I went underneath and I drilled a hole from the bottom up. And right here is the hole I drilled. That is telling me that's how far back I need to cut this tunnel. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue this cut all the way down to, actually I'm going to come all the way down to here. Okay, the kit came with this transmission tunnel adapting piece right here. So this is going to go in there pretty much, let me show you, like that. Okay, so this is going to be you don't have to get one of these if you're doing a transmission job that you could actually rotate the car and flip it over and do all that. Then you could do it without this plate here, but it just makes it easier. So what I ended up doing is I purchased it. It's not that expensive, so it's nice thick metal. I got it from American Powertrain. It came with the kit, so they know what they're doing. They've done hundreds of these, so really nice people to deal with. Anyway, so what I'm going to do is I'm gonna cut this all the way down here and then peel this back. Right here, I don't know if you could see that little indentation. That indentation is where the transmission hits. So I know I have to come back to that point at least to cut that out, to open it up to get it in here. So let's get started, and I'll let you know exactly what I'm doing. So if you have any questions or comments, let me know. Okay, I just want to show you this. This is a quick shot from underneath. I have the blocks holding up the transmission so it doesn't go down too far. I have about a 1/2-inch gap up there where the transmission tunnel is, and I draped the transmission with a weld through apron, so the sparks won't damage the transmission at all. So just to protect it from grinding and cutting and all that stuff. So this is just an easier way to do it, to make sure that your lines are correct. So Again, if you have any questions, let me know. I just wanted to show you the underneath part. So let's get started. I'm going to bring you up top. Okay, I'm ready to cut this. I'm going to use my grinding wheel here, my cutting wheel on my grinder, and I'm going to run a cut all the way down to this point here. And then when I'm done, I'm going to show you what it looks like. So I'm going to get started and we'll go from there. So I might have to put some curved cuts in here just to relieve this when I bend this up. And then once I put this on there to see how it lines up, then I'm going to cut the whole thing out so I can weld it. So I'm going to show you pretty much exactly what I'm doing. So this is just prepping it so I could weld this here. I don't want to cut more than I have to. I could just go ahead and cut this all out and lift it up and be done with it. But I want to make sure this is going to come out really nice. So let's get started. I have to be careful because my transmission is under here. So let's get going. I cut this up right here, see the lines all the way down to here. I cut this across. So I'm going to peel this back and I'm going to see how it looks. Okay, so let me do that and I'll be right back. Okay, this is all cut now. You see that space all the way across there? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift the transmission up from underneath. I'm going to jack it up to where it's supposed to be with the cross member. And that way I know exactly where this transmission's supposed to sit. Okay, so when I do that, then I'm going to go further and mark everything and cut it across. So this is just, like I said, a preliminary cut to figure out exactly where this is going to sit. And that way you'll have a reference on where you need to install that transmission tunnel. So let's start jacking it up from underneath and I'll be right back. I have everything bolted up. I put the cross member in over there, show you. So you have the cross member in. I have the bolts temporarily loose right now. Everything's matted up to the transmission. Everything looks good. There's the other bolts right there. And right there is where it's hitting. Do you see that right up there? I'm going to take you upstairs on top of the car and show you exactly where it's going to be hitting. That looks pretty nice right there, opening. So let's go on top and see what it looks like. Be right back. Right, we're on top now. You see how close this tunnel is? This is the original tunnel to the floor pan, and it's really hitting right here, this area here, and it's hitting this area right here a lot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this out so it doesn't hit. So in order to do that, I'm going to have to lower the transmission just a little bit to do that. And I'm going to cut this whole area out, and then I'm going to use that right there to sit on top. So I'm going to make sure it doesn't hit anywhere else before I go ahead and do it. And it looks like it's hitting right here. So that's why you have to open up this transmission tunnel that much when you're doing the T56 transmissions in these A-body cars. So just wanted to give you an overview of what everything looks like. So I'm going to start cutting this, and we'll go from there. So let me just open this up a little more right here, and I'm going to show you what this looks like before I put that transmission plate on top and scribe it and cut it out. So okay, be right back. Okay, I'm sitting here and I'm working this. If you have these pliers right here, they're tin pliers. You could grab it and gradually bend it back very easily. If you have a bow in it, you could take them out with that wrench there. But I'm going to just show you the progress that I'm at right here. I cut this open, so that's open right there. The problem is this switch on this transmission here, see that? That's very close to this metal. So you're going to have a problem with that. You want to make sure you have at least a 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch gap at that point. But everywhere else, you want at least a 1 inch space from your floor pan to the transmission. Just so you're aware, I mean, I'm trying to maintain that 1 inch gap. Like right here, I have approximately a 1 inch gap. So that's what I'm trying to maintain all the way around. This is my welder's apron here. So when I cut and grind, I don't want to damage the transmission. And those are my spacers that I'm using to get that cut. So I'm gonna cut along there and free that area up. So right now I'm gonna cut some of that out and fit it. So I'll be right back. I just wanted to show you my progress. Everything here looks good. I got more than 1 inch clearance on the right side over here. On this side, I got about a 1/2 inch clearance right here, and a 1/2 inch clearance right where this module is. So the problem that I found out that I have is that it hits up here on the transmission and the firewall, right over here. It hits, and it hits over here on the transmission. So the problem that I'm having is I don't have not even a 1/2 inch clearance there. So I know that's going to rattle over time, and I don't want that to happen. So what I am going to do is I am going to cut right here about a 2 inch slit on both sides right here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to bend this metal from up here versus removing the transmission and hammer and dollying that out. So I don't know how that's going to play out because my transmission cover only goes to this mark here. I don't know if you could see it. So it only covers maybe another 1/2 inch right here. So I want to make sure, let me see, show you that mark. That's the mark right there where it covers. You see it right there? So anything more than that, I'm just going to have to patch. And I do realize I'm going to have to patch that right there. So I want to show you the cover. This is the cover. Okay, so it goes on there like this. And I got to push it down. But like I said, there's the gap right there that I have to weld because you need to open that up or else it won't fit. And this right here, you can't really see it, but I circled where it hits the shifter. Then I'm going to make a little custom piece here. So I want to be able to access this area when I install my custom console. So I want to make sure that fits nicely now. So I'm going to worry about that up there first. So I'm going to cut it and try to bend it out and see how that plays out. And Every car is different, just so you know. You're going to run into other problems on your car. For now, mine is hitting up here, and I wasn't expecting that to hit here and hits here. So I'm actually a little disappointed over that. But everything else I'm pretty happy with. So, okay, I just got done stretching the metal, cutting it, bending it the way I needed it to be bent. And as you can see, I got a nice gap under there from the transmission to the transmission tunnel. So, I mean, that takes some time to do. Wasn't expecting it to have a problem there, but that's pretty much what I'm gonna do, is just leave that. I got about, I want to say about 3/4 of an inch space. I got a little more on the right than I do the left right there, but that's manageable. The transmission cover actually fits very well right there. I'll show you. And just line that up to where I need it to be, which is about there. So if you look, right there, it just covers it very nicely. Okay, so I'm just gonna have to do some filling right there and some welding right there and over here, which is not a big deal because I'm gonna be welding it anyway. So I just wanted to show you my progress with that. Right now I'm gonna cut this out. I marked it a little bit right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this back and then bend it up and create a lip for my shifter. So I'm going to cut that out and I'm going to show you what it looks like. I'm going to drill here first, drill 2 holes in here, and I'm going to cut this across and then cut this up. So when I get to that point, then I'm just going to bend it and create a lip so I could cover this with my shifter, and I could actually access my shifter in here. I have it covered so no dirt and dust gets in there while I'm working on it. It makes it easier to maneuver without the shifter in place. So let me get to that and I'll be right back. Okay, I drilled this area out right here. That's for my shifter, and it's going to fit in there like this. Okay, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to bend this up to create a lip so I could screw another plate in there, so when I go ahead and put my shifter, I could actually reverse my shifter if I want to. On the Tremec transmissions, you could move your shifter, if I'm not mistaken, 3 inches back or 3 inches forward. I'd have to check the exact measurement, but I think it's 3 inches. Anyway, so I'm going to bend this lip up right here, and then I'm going to bend this lip up, and then I still need to adjust this cut here because I just wanted to make sure I'm not over cutting. So that's what I'm going to do with that. So once I do that, I'm just gonna, there it is. See, it's pushed that down, and that's where it needs to be. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do that for my shifter, and I'll get back to you. I just wanted to show you my progress on that right there. So any questions or comments, please let me know. Okay, here's my progress. I bent this up right here. Show you this right here. Okay, I bent this up. If I cut any more, it's going to be in the structural part of the floor pan. So I need to be careful not to cut more than you have to when you do this. The other thing is this is the lip I was telling you about right here. I wanted to make this lip so I can have something to secure my cover, and if I want to lift this up and put it back down and change the position of the shifter, I can do that without dropping the transmission. So right now it's almost ready to start getting tacked and welded. I know this isn't that pretty right now, but once I clean it up and grind it clean and make these flanges straight, I think it'll be okay. The problem that I had where I had to make this oblong was it was hitting the cover right here on this part of the transmission. So I have to make this cover oblong when I do this. So that being said, it's going to take me a little more time than I expected to do this. So I am going to tack this in place. I am going to use some sheetrock screws, and I'll show you what that looks like when I'm ready. And then I'm going to do some hammering over here. There's a little dip in the floor pan right here. I want to get that out. I don't like that. And other than that, I got to just secure it with some sheet metal screws and tack it all along the bottom and all along the top here. And I rounded this off there. See, let me show you. Let's get a better shot of that. See how I rounded that off to accept the transmission cover? Because I didn't want to go any lower in the front. So when you push this down, that's pretty much where it's going to be, and you have about an inch space under there. But when you get to this point over here, you don't have that inch space, and I am worried that it's going to hit, so that's why I did that. If you have any questions or comment, please let me know, and I am going to go ahead and start tacking this down so I could make sure I want it where I want it when I start cutting and welding and giving it a nice clean finish. Okay, I got everything the way I want it to be, and you got nice spacing in here. You got about 3/4 of an inch on the right side. You got about 3/4 of an inch above here and on that side, and you have a nice spacing on the left side over there. The only thing that I have a problem is right here. You see there's probably maybe, can't really, it's hard to see, about a 1/2 inch spacing between the transmission and the floor pan. But the problem is, if I need to move the transmission to the left or to the right to align the drive shaft up, I'm going to run into that problem. So what I'm going to do is when I'm ready to cut this out, I'm just going to beat this metal out with a hammer and dolly for maybe another 1/2 inch or so, just to get a little more space. I don't want to go too much, because then I'm going to have a problem with the carpet fitting the car. I just wanted to show you my progress over here. It's hard to see this. I bent this up to accept the new tunnel, and here's the new tunnel. Let me put this on here like this, okay? And it's going to fit here nice and snug. It's kind of hard to find that right camera angle, but right there, it'll fit nice and snug. I'm going to line it up so you can see exactly how it's going to be. I put some screw holes here where I'm going to temporarily fasten it to the floor pan, and I'm just going to push it down so you can see right now. I had to cut this a little weird at this angle, because if I didn't, when I push this down, the transmission, see that nice spacing I have there? This was hitting right here. The new floor pan was hitting, the new trunk pan filler was hitting right here of the transmission. So you don't want that. So what I ended up doing was I just bent that a little bit, put a nice little flange on there all the way around. I have to trim this up yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what it looks like when it's all screwed in place, and then I'm going to mark it with the magic marker where it sits. I tried to get this down as low as I can, but obviously you need the space for your transmission so it doesn't hit if you torque down on the motor when you're driving. So far it looks good, and let me put it together and show you what it looks like. Be right back. Okay, here it is. It's all temporarily secured right now. right where I put my metal screws here. There's 1, 2, 3, and I put 4. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to scribe a line all the way down along this panel, just like this, and that's where I'm going to cut, just like that. And you got to be careful. Right here is where you have your floor brace. You don't want to cut through that. You need to be very careful at this area. That's why I stopped right here. I could have cut this and then folded it and come down a little bit more, but I think I'm okay, because the council is going to cover that. And I don't know if I mentioned I'm going to make a custom council. So just so you know. But anyway, there you have it. So, you know, I got the screws on this side going all the way down. So when you do this type of work, you really need one of these tools right here. This is a lifesaver. You get some nice bends out of it. You don't damage that much. And all this has to be cleaned up and straightened yet, but I'm not going to do that until I drop my transmission and cut that tunnel out. I don't want any seams. It's all going to be welded, so there isn't going to be any seam on the bottom side of this. So I'm going to show you how to do that. I'm going to continue the video once I remove the motor and the transmission, but this was just to install the tunnel so I can cut it out. So if you have any questions or comments, let me know, and I'll be back in a little bit. I'm all done. I made my marks here on the floor. This has to come out, so when I put it on the rotisserie, I'm going to make sure I bang that out from underneath. And I just wanted to show you pretty much everything that I did. So I have it secured. I even opened this up a little bit more right here in case I want to pull the transmission and the motor back, because I still have about an inch play, so I don't want to be too far away from the firewall up front, but so I could pull everything back. The body is on the rotisserie right now. I just moved the frame over, as you can see right here. So I am getting ready to work on the tranny tunnel. I'm just going to move the car over. I'll get you a closer view here. So that's the finished, that's what it's going to look like when it's all done. But I want to get in there. I got to hammer some more of the metal out right here. So I made some marks, so that got to come out. And then I'm going to make a custom cover right here. So that's going to clean up with a nice cover. So I got to clean that up. But I just wanted to show you my progress. If you have any questions or comments, let me know. Okay, now that I did that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the two pieces of metal together so I can tack weld it. I already started spot welding my tranny tunnel from the underside. I want to make sure it's nice and flush as I go ahead and cut the metal out. Here is some pieces of the tunnel right here I cut out. Alright, so I want to make sure this blends in really nice. So I'm going to tack it. I'm going to tack it a little bit more, and then I'm going to bring you down here so you could see exactly what it looks like. And then I'm just going to continue cutting and tacking it in place, and then I'm just going to run a bunch of little beads all the way across and fill in the gap between the new tranny tunnel and the floor pan. So I'm just going to show you how I do that. So if you have any questions, just let me know. Leave them in the comment section below. and let's do this. So. I'm just putting little beads in there. Just so it doesn't move. And then I'm going to go ahead and continue on. So let me bring you down here and show you what it looks like up close, so you know exactly what I'm doing here. See here, I'm just running little beads all the way across so I don't warp the metal more than I have to try to keep it cool. And I'm just going to run beads all the way down here every couple inches and tie everything in and then grind everything up. As you can see right here, I haven't cut this out yet, so I'm going to do that when I flip the car on the other side. But basically, I'm just going to make sure that it looks really nice and smooth along here, so everything's going to blend in when I'm done grinding it all up. So I still have a lot of welding to do. It's very tedious, so I'm going to cut this top piece up here, get that done, taken care of, and spot weld everything that I need to spot weld, grind it, fill it, and I'm going to turn the camera back on, so it's going to be a while. Just so you know, I'm all done welding all the way across. Wanted to show you what I did. Now all I have to do is grind everything smooth and check it for pinholes and see if I missed any spots. I want to show you up here. I had to cut my tunnel in 3 spots. Here's the one, that one there, and then there's one over here, down here. See that? Right there. And then that side over here is all welded down. I just wanted to show you that. And if you have any questions, let me know. This took me about, I want to say about 2.5 hours to tack weld it in place, cut it, shape it a little more, and go ahead and start welding it in 2 to 3 inch, or I'm sorry, 1 inch spots here down the line. So it took me about 2.5 to 3 hours to do that. So if you have any questions, let me know. I still have to clean this up a little bit more. I'm going to cut this here, move this down further so I have more space if I want to bring the transmission and motor back. So I just want to cut this back a little bit more. I'm going to keep this angle. Then I'm going to make a cover for this and then drill a hole in the plate for my shifter. So, and I like this because I only have about 3/4 of an inch, maybe an inch from the top of the transmission. So this worked out really nicely. So I don't have a big console there. So just so you know, that's why I like to use this. So anyway, let's keep going, and I'll see you in a bit. Okay, everyone. Just wanted to let you know, this is the underside. I just got done cleaning this up, and I'm going to do the other side in a minute. For now, right, this is all complete. Everything's grinded, everything's sanded. I have to just touch this up a little bit over here for some flash rusting, and then I'm going to spray paint it. Everything is grinded, smooth. So all I have to do now is just lightly sand this down to get some surface rust off, and then spray paint it primer black. I'm going to use some etching primer, So everything here is sanded smooth all along. Let me show you on this side, all the way up. So everything here looks good, blending really nicely in here. So everything looks really sharp. So now the only thing I really have to do is go inside here and clean up my spot welds on the inside here, and then that's it. I'm done with the tunnel. There's a little dent right here. I'm going to try to knock this out a little bit more because that's where the sensor of the transmission is. So just want to get that taken care of real quick, and some other little indentations I might bang out of here. So all right, that's going to conclude the video. Please like, share, and subscribe.